Are you having a tough time dealing with something? Are you suffering from negative emotions? Are the voices in your head making life difficult for you? We will discover how we can rise above these by introducing a spiritual healing awareness. The journey into spirituality begins with the basic question of self. Who are you? The present you are the sum total of your experiences. But try moving back a few years to identify let's say 10 years back, 20 years back. You can try to imagine your state of mind 20 years back, or who you were from your experiences back then. It gets very quiet when you go back to the earliest of your memories. Maybe a few simple memories when you were a child, when your experiences had not totally made you who you are, and you had very little experience to make you too different from your soul essence. Truly, if you could go back in memory to the time you were born, that was still you. In fact, that was the pure you in all its purity and glory, that you kept gathering perceptions from the senses to create a mindset that you believe is you, but the real you is the you when you were born. At this time, you were simply a vessel for perceiving the present moment. As you grew older, the definition of you kept changing, but the original you is still within you. It is the energy which gives you the ability to start gathering experiences through your senses. That you is the energy of the universe, of which there is no end nor beginning. The universal energy manifests itself in the form of endless possibilities within the framework of universal laws. Even these laws are subject to possibilities giving rise to endless possibilities. When you meditate, your goal is to be aware of that energy state where there is no influence of the learned you. You lose the I when you are in meditation. To be able to effortlessly ignore learned behaviors such as love, lust, anger, jealousy, and desire is one of the major goals of meditation. Meditation is a state of being whereby you are only in tune with being one with the universal energy, without any learned response from any of the senses. Spirituality is being aware of this universal energy, knowing where you stand in the grand scheme of things. Why spirituality? As I've mentioned before, we have come a long way from our original state of energy being when we were born. Although our essence is in being part of the universal energy, we grow up in our physical body and learn to prioritize our senses and ego over the universal presence. The sensory perceptions are very strong and powerful, and they end up overpowering your being with small details and insinuations of day-to-day lives, relationships, and interactions. That is why we constantly have ambiguous thoughts. Because our mind is constantly trying to cope with millions of possible events that are beyond one's control. The way our mind deals with this is by creating the voices in the head. Your brain is powerful. It can run multiple thought processes at the same time. There is a voice of reason. There is a voice of the cynic. There is a devil's advocate. They all start to voice their strong opinions and leave you more confused and unhappy because you are only trying to make sense of this life using your senses. That is because that's the only way you know how to do it. These voices will begin to run you down like a stray animal being mercilessly run down by a car. This is the reason for depression, when the voices in your head have taken over and determined that you are incapable of coping with life. When you are in tune with spirituality, either through your own calling or through some other channels, then slowly but surely you become aware of your true self, the universal energy that makes it all possible. When you are able to discern your truest form of self, then sensory, behavioral, learned responses that guide your ego will not be able to continue to harass you via the voices, because you will have learned to get to the root of every voice when they appear. Once you get to the root of the voice becomes powerless because in the grand scheme of things it does not affect you. When you recognize your true self, you begin to understand the power of the present moment. There is nothing but the present. Past is gone and the future is not there yet. All you can control is the present moment, and in the present moment, you can control what you think about. As soon as negative thoughts start coming in your mind to bring you down, as they do most of the time, you have to go back to the universal energy in your mind where no experience really affects you because you are pure energy. All the negative thoughts will fall down like bullets fall down vertically instead of going straight and hitting you, just like in the movie Matrix. Does spirituality mean you have to disconnect from the Matrix? Once you have realized your true energy self, there is not much that can bring you down. This will not happen immediately, but over time you can tune into the universal energy so that you are living in parallel with the physical presence and the universal presence. you can continue to have a normal life and enjoy all aspects of life without being too attached to it. In addition to meditation or Dhyan yoga, you can live a life of karma yoga. In ancient Eastern philosophies, even work is considered to be a type of yoga, karma yoga. When you can focus on your work without any thoughts on the fruits of labor, you reach a state of disconnect from the nature of physical ego.